Japan anime news powered by Newtype. Now this week we will bring you the latest news and anime-related information from Newtype. I am Hisanori Yoshida, a broadcaster from Nippon Broadcasting System. This program is a podcast that delivers anime information to the world through the multilingual voice translation tool, Lingueene. We will share the latest anime information gathered from the Newtype editorial department of KADOKAWA, highlighting the state of Japanese anime and anime culture globally. And for those who listen every week, you might be thinking today is February 17th, but due to various circumstances, we are recording this on Sunday, February 16th, 2025. Also, please note that we are using the multilingual voice translation tool, Lingueene, for translations. Since languages other than Japanese are translated by AI, they may contain inaccuracies, so please understand. Well, let's start with the news today. There are many world-famous creators, and among them is Leiji Matsumoto. The news is that a major exhibition will be held for the first time since his passing. It will feature original artworks from his masterpieces such as Galaxy Express 999 and Captain Harlock, as well as early works before his debut and newly discovered original drawings that will be shown for the first time. This exhibition will take place at Roppongi Hills Tokyo City View and at the Kitakyushu Manga Museum, which is his hometown. Additionally, a special talk between manga artist Tetsuya Chiba and astronaut Naoko Yamazaki will be released on the official YouTube channel on February 13th, and the streaming of the movie Captain Harlock Space Pirate has also been confirmed. About 30 years ago, I was really surprised to see that overseas people were watching anime when Matsumoto Leiji was featured in a music video by Daft Punk at a very early stage. Well, it's been about 25 years since then, I guess. I feel like I might have seen it a bit earlier, maybe when I was in college. Yeah, I think it was around that time, probably between the 90s and the 2000s. I had the opportunity to meet Matsumoto Leiji several times during his lifetime, and our conversations were incredibly interesting. What made them so interesting was that what he was saying was just too adventurous. For example, from what I heard, he was a boy during the war at that time. So in places like Kokura, there were many military ports. There were military ports everywhere. And he talked about how he would dive under the ships where warships were coming and going. Since there were bombings at that time, when the bombers attacked, the fighter planes would drop garbage at the same time. He mentioned reading the paper bags that were dropped, thinking they were amazing as manga. Furthermore, he said he brought home all the half-burnt paper bags he picked up during that time. This person, Leiji Matsumoto, was on a different level. He even shared stories about going to Africa to hunt lions when hunting was permitted for humanity. I've been doing a podcast where I talk to manga artists, and while Leiji Matsumoto hasn't appeared on it, Tetsuya Chiba has, by the way. I've spoken with Leiji Matsumoto for a total of about 3 to 4 hours, maybe even more. And as I follow the conversation in order, he still hasn't been able to leave Ogura even once. Of course, I want to hear about his experiences after coming to Tokyo, but by the time we get to that point, the conversation ends with me going, wow, at everything he says. Oh, that was definitely Leiji Matsumoto, right? Leiji Matsumoto and Osamu Tezuka. Back in the day, there was a work called Hakujaden, I think. It's a piece that remains in Japanese history and the history of anime. There was Toei Animation's Hakujaden or Kumoto Churipu, something like that, as works. They were shown as a double feature at that time. And if I recall correctly, when it was a double feature, it would be A work, B work, A work when screened back then. They don't do that kind of screening anymore these days. During that screening method, I believe there was a time when Tezuka Sensei watched it as AB and Matsumoto Sensei watched it as BA. This was at a theater in Takarazuka. So I think Leiji Matsumoto is truly a giant who has left an incredible mark in history, like a legend. Well, you know, the boats on the Sumida River, you can still ride them even now, designed by Leiji Matsumoto. Do you know why? Leiji Matsumoto's younger brother is a boat builder. It's amazing. There are so many legends surrounding it. The place where you can see the most of Leiji Matsumoto's works is definitely the Manga Museum in Kitakyushu. It's really impressive. If you ever have the chance to go there, I personally think it's worth a visit. Now, let's move on to this week's other latest anime news. The theatrical version of Uta no Princess-sama Taboo Night Kisses has been announced. The main visual and the full trailer for the movie Uta no Princess-sama Taboo Night Kisses have been released. Uta Prai has had 4 TV series from 2011 to 2016. After that, this will be the 3rd theatrical anime film. The momentum for Uta Prai continues unabated. Now, regarding Gundam Seed Axis, this is the current highlight. It has been decided that it will be screened in MX4D and 4DX starting February 22. At this stage, the most successful one has been Gundam Seed Freedom, but Seed Axis is already approaching that level in terms of sales. The box office revenue is incredible. Starting February 15th, the 4th entry in the admission bonus, the Coma film character version, is supposed to be distributed, but such items may disappear quickly. Speaking of something a little unusual, Yanmar, I think most Japanese people know about it, but I'm not sure. It's quite active globally as well. Yanmar is a company that manufactures and sells agricultural machinery in Japan, and surprisingly, Yanmar Holdings is set to broadcast an original anime titled Miru Watashi no Mirai in 2025, which can be written as a production producer. The general producer is Masuhiro Ueda, right? Oh my. Wow, Masuhiro Ueda is a very famous anime producer, and I've met him quite a few times. If you look at the staff roll of the old Gundam series, you will definitely see Masuhiro Ueda's name. Meeting Sora is indeed a major work featuring one of the big names in the industry. Miru is a piece that still uses the kanji for wei, meaning not yet, combined with the katakana ru to form Wei-ru. This time, it seems they are producing 5 episodes. The episode titles include Episode 079 Stardust Memory, created by Link, which is responsible for the CG cut production of Mobile Suit Gundam The Witch from Mercury. Episode 101, The King of the Forest, was produced by Triff Studio, which is mostly independent. Then there's Episode 217, The Turmoil of This World, produced by Scooter Films from Umayuru and Shirakumi from The Idolmaster Million Live. Episode 630, Re Miru, is handled by Rails from the theatrical anime Ganbatte Ikimashoi. Lastly, episode 926 Wait For Me, I'm Coming is being worked on by Larks from Kengan Ashura Season 2 and Studio Hibari from Kanata no Astra. In the distant future, a robot named Mil, created by humanity, time leaps and meets people from various eras, supporting them through their troubles and pains as they take a step towards a new life. This is depicted in a 5-episode omnibus format, and it's impressive that Yanmar has come on board. Depending on how you look at it, Yanmar might actually be closer to Gundam than Toyota or Honda. In terms of future living robots, there is some validity to that. The first robot that comes to my mind that blends into daily life is R. Tanaka Ichiro. But I apologize, I'm only speaking for those who like the work Ultimate Superhuman Aru, which is from 40 or 50 years ago. In that story, the character insists, I'm not a robot, I'm an android. I genuinely believe that it wouldn't be surprising if Yanmar were to create humanoid machines first. Well, earlier we were talking about something like Meguriai Sora, and there's director Yasuo Umetsu, who was a hardcore genius animator during the Gundam era. It has been decided that his original anime, Virgin Punk, produced by Shaft, will be released on June 21. Now, regarding this, there is a work called Kite, and at that time, he questioned what it meant to create a beautiful girl anime. He created something outrageous, saying that if you did this in a beautiful girl anime, it would be like Pulp Fiction. That was during the time of director Umetsu. Later, he became known for works like Wizard Barristers Benmashi Cecil, and was also working on Galilei Donna around the same time. All of these are works by director Umetsu, and I truly think he is one of the amazing video creators. It's quite common for director Umezu to only handle openings and such. There aren't many anime directors who exude such a strong sense of pleasure in their work. Soar Machi, Zeta Gundam, and Seraph of the End are all examples of this. Umezu is known for creating visually pleasing animations, and I watched Virgin Punk, which is essentially a pilot or a music video. It's amazing. The animation is incredible. I was wondering where it would be shown, and it turns out it's going to be in theaters. I really want to see it on the big screen. It's set to be released on June 27th, and I'm looking forward to it. The story revolves around a girl named Ubu, who lives as a bounty hunter. Her name means to dance in the wings, and the narrative depicts her struggles and the desires and chaos surrounding the people around her, making her a protagonist who gets caught up in it all. Honestly, I just want to see a glimpse of a moving scene, even if it's just for 5 seconds. Well then, my favorite theatrical version, Boku to Roboko. The TV series, directed by Hironobu Otsuki, showcased an incredible speed of gags. And Matsuo from Chocolate Planet played the protagonist, which fit exceptionally well. It has been announced that Shigeru Chiba, Sumire Uesaka, and Masako Nozawa will be voicing the multiverse Roboko. It will be released on April 18th. The cast announced this time will each take on the role of Roboko from various world lines. Chiba will voice the Roboko from a serious sci-fi action world line, where humans and robots are at war, while Uesaka will voice a clumsy maid who often trips and causes happy troubles in a romantic comedy world line. Nozawa-san is a powerful slapstick-style robot girl from the world of Showa gag manga. It has also been announced that Tanaka Mayumi will voice another robot girl from the classic battle genre. Boku to Roboko is cleverly taking advantage of Jump in a good way. If you called Tanaka Mayumi for a serious battle in a work published in another medium, you would probably get scolded. It's clearly Luffy versus Krillin. It's great that this work is with Shueisha. Now, that brings us to this week's anime news. I have received various emails this week as well. This week, there are multiple ones. Let's start with Capane. Thank you. Hello, Yoshida-san. This is Capane. Thank you. I heard that you will be going to Austin, Texas in March, but actually, I am writing this message from Dallas, Texas. What a coincidence. When I listened to the last broadcast, I was at the airport heading to Texas. So I was surprised. Such things do happen, don't they? I'm looking forward to hearing about South by Southwest after your return. Is there any chance we could meet? Well, Austin and Dallas are quite far apart. Once when I went there a long time ago, I landed in Dallas instead of Austin, rented an RV in Dallas, and drove from Dallas to Austin. The reason I did that was because I couldn't find accommodation in Austin due to an event happening there. So I thought, why not just take an RV and stay somewhere along the way? Looking back, that was quite a reckless decision on my part. This time I've made proper arrangements. I'm entering Austin via Los Angeles, so I won't be going to Dallas, but I wonder if we could meet somewhere. What do you think? By the way, last time I mentioned that I started watching the anime Zenshu because of the music, Bandmaid. But I'm also quite interested in Abemujika due to its relatively hard sound. However, I haven't seen the Banji Dream series, so I'm wondering what to do. But starting from the earlier works might be a way to enjoy the anime. That said, should I be clear? Kapin-san, they are completely different. Of course, they are connected to what has come before, especially with the previous work, My Go, which has quite a few connections to It's My Go. But, how should I put it? Banji Dream was supposed to be about girls' everyday lives. But this time, it's really being said that it might be the first time someone could die in Bang Dream. It's quite intense, with a swirl of love and hatred, so I think starting with Abemujika would be perfectly fine. Let's continue from there. This is from Yuzukuma Arashika Uchu Dekomon, who is from Nara Prefecture. Thank you as always. This season, every popular work has been interesting without exception, and I think both Zenshu and Abemujika, which just came up, are great examples. However, I would like to recommend a work that seems a bit unusual. The dark horse of this season, Okitsura, is indeed noteworthy. Shall I share one reason why we're recording today? I'm going to Okinawa tomorrow for a seminar retreat. Watching Okitsura before heading to Okinawa feels like a pilgrimage. I probably won't have much free time to move around though. Okitsura has been heavily discussed not only by Yoppie but also on the program in previous broadcasts, so in a way, I can't take my eyes off it. I'll talk about I Want to Escape from Princess Education. Oh, I see. I haven't checked this part at all. Point 1 of the strange situation. The protagonist, Leticia, who has been freed from the hellish training of a princess, is enjoying herself too much in the countryside. Is she really the same person as the young lady at the beginning of the first episode? Such doubts arise as Leticia quickly moves to her countryside residence and indulges in an outdoor-focused, enjoyable life after breaking off her engagement. It's written in the past tense though, I see. And point 2 of the strange situation, the fate of light novel adaptations, a rapid-fire dialogue of eccentric characters. It's supposed to be a romantic comedy, but the sweet scenes are somewhat lacking in punchlines. Oh, they're absent. A battle of gags unfolds with strong-willed characters. The heroine, who is the epitome of a quirky character, meta-narrates directly to the audience with a camera gaze. This is the kind of work it is. And point 3, about the odd behavior. Is the angelic voice of Jun Fukuyama making a surprising comeback? Since his transformation into a final boss character after Lelouch, he plays the role of the prince, Letitia's fiancé, in this work, returning to the nostalgic image of a refreshing, handsome young man. However, starting from episode 3, the prince's behavior seems a bit strange. There's a subtle sense of something off, and it feels like a dangerous engagement breakup story, so I want to continue watching. And P.S. I'm casually keeping an eye on new anime this season, like Medalist, the reincarnated villainous uncle, Zen Shu, Okitsura, and Takao Amaku, along with the occasional Kinomi master. Also, I was moved that the late-night version of Magical Girl Procure, which I watched without any prior knowledge, was genuinely enjoyable even for a beginner. It seems you're really keeping up with everything. I wonder if it's already over for today. Recently, there is a television called Regza from Toshiba. Its recording function is amazing. Remarkably, it can record almost everything. And when you are recording, it suggests various things like, let's record this. It's the type of TV that has such a recording feature. Nowadays, TVs are connected to the internet, so they collect viewing data from users who have given consent. By analyzing this big data, we can discover various hit shows that we weren't aware of, or realize that something we thought was very popular is actually not watched much by the general public. Based on this data, we are considering starting an Anime Data Award with Mr. Kataoka, who is known as the god of recording for Regza. Perhaps we can discuss this topic as well. That concludes today's Japan Anime News powered by Newtype with Hisanori Yoshida. If you would like to share your thoughts about the show on social media, please use the hashtag JAnime. If you have any comments about the show or anime news you would like me, Hisanori Yoshida, to discuss, please feel free to send them via email. The email address is janimeyay242.com. We will bring you the latest anime news again next week. This is Hisanori Yoshida from Nippon Broadcasting System.